Alright guys, this is going to be the third episode in my jumper guide as we enter 2021 mid-season, and it's been a pretty interesting jumper guide to begin with. I know I took some time delay between my last one and this one, but it's all pretty much the same information. A lot of things didn't change. In this guide today, we're going to talk a lot about the right before the jump and then the jump itself and what goes into play during that time period and what you should do afterwards. Now, I do want to make a huge shout out because I forgot to do it and I know I needed to begin with, to 2326, which is the kingdom that this account is in right now. It is my jumper that I'm going to be working on, but not full blown. I'm going to be active on all the time because I am active on my main account. But I do want to shout out to them. They created a jumper group called the Kingdom of Peace. They had so much great information, way more information than I think I could put in a video. And it's all about finding the group that fits you as the player the best. And I know I covered that in the last video, finding the right jumper group. Finding the right jumper group for you, but everyone's going to have their mistakes with the groups. Some might not work, some might work really well and have a great kingdom afterwards. It's all going to vary. Personalities are different. Just make sure you take that into play when you're selecting your group. Use all the discords out there, find the group that works for you, and don't poach from other groups. It's not really how it works. But let's go ahead and finish this jumper guide and get it started right now. So sit back, guys, and enjoy the ride. Now, we're about ready to make our jump. I made sure that I clicked all of our villages in the kingdom I'm in currently and scouted the medium and high level caves. That will give you a good advantage going to your next kingdom, but if the map type matches the kingdom that you're going to, all of those cave and villages are going to be already done for you, so just keep that in mind whenever you're jumping. Alright, so the next thing you want to look at as you are finalizing your jump and exactly what kingdom you're going to, the best thing to do is try to figure out when the kingdom opening cycle is. Now this cycle is going to vary. You'll want to go zoom out of your map, click on the globe, click the preparation season, and then click on the kingdoms that are listed in the bracket at the top. That'll tell you kind of the reference of how long these kingdoms are opening in between cycles. Either they might be 1 day, they might be 12 hours. Are they dropping one kingdom? Are they dropping two kingdoms? And this will give you a good estimate on when you can expect your final kingdom to open and how you want to plan it. Just keep in mind, there's no set schedule. We don't really know when these kingdoms are opening. You just kind of get a rough estimate, and the best way to do it is just opening the maps and just taking a look at the timer on the top left-hand corner. And that way you can kind of get a better picture of when you want to jump. Now let's prepare our jump. Alright guys, it is jump day. We just received notification in Discord that it is time to jump. This is probably the most exciting part of the jumper guide because now you're taking your account from whatever kingdom you decided to be in and you are launching to your final kingdom. Now keep in mind that you have to keep your resources below your storehouse. Now you'll see in a few minutes of why I say that is you don't want to open any of your resource packs and go over what your storehouse says. I did it for purpose of this video so you can kind of get a better understanding of why I did this. You want to leave the alliance that you're in. After you leave the alliance, you want to make sure that you zoom all the way out of the map. Your troops, your scouts, everybody's home. Click on the globe on the bottom right. You find the preparation season, find your kingdom, you select it, and now you're ready to jump. There's a few things that's going to happen now. You want to teleport to the zone that you were selected in, and depending on what alliance, if you're in a jumper group, and you go to those areas. Now, as you see, I got an identifier that I have too many resources. I'm going to need to delete those in order to jump. And yes, when I mean delete, I mean delete. Like it doesn't go to anybody. It gets deleted. So you type in the words delete, the resources disappear, and you'll make your jump. Now, keep this in mind when you're doing this. If you have a lot, then, you can have someone hit your city. You can start long period techs. You can have a troop reserve and pop that if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. That's probably like the worst way to do it. But this is why we tell you not to collect the quest lines that you have on the left, because that will deter this process. Now, as soon as I land, I went ahead and just started training troops. I probably should have done that before I left, but I went ahead and did that anyways. And the first thing that I did when I landed in a new kingdom is I just sent out gatherers. Like, I know it's not really that exciting, but that's what I did. I just sent out some gatherers. I realized that I couldn't send out that many, and that's fine, but it's better than just sitting here, because now we have to join an alliance and start our building and all that. It's really cool, but it's exciting to start a new chapter in your new kingdom. Okay, so now that we are in our kingdom, we can use our beginner teleport. If you haven't upgraded your city hall yet, I highly recommend you wait. If you know where you're teleporting, if you already know where you're going, go ahead and wait before you upgrade to City Hall 8 so you can use a free beginner's teleport. You should have 2 of them. I used one of them in my previous kingdom to teleport next to the city leader, and as long as you teleport next to the leader, it counts as being part of that. So it's kind of weird how the system recognizes where you are, especially if you're teleporting to a different zone. You can teleport to any zone in Zone 1 as long as you're teleporting next to your leader or your alliance members. I decided to teleport kind of where they had a marker, just north of that, and there were some cities there, and I went ahead and just popped my city down. You can use some random teleports, but that's only going to send you around that zone. But here in this situation, I went ahead and just dropped my city near the shrine that I know that we're going to go to. Sometimes you don't get that opportunity. And now comes the dauntless task of upgrading. This is probably like, it's so long and drawn out, but it's the quickest way to make sure you can get the tier 3 unlock. In some cases, some of you may get the T4 unlock on the first jump day. Just try to only use building speed ups to upgrade your buildings, and use all of your universal and all of your research ones strictly on research. Obviously, the research is for research, but don't use any universal on buildings, because you'll find out in the long run you're going to have a ton of extra building speed ups. Just recommend just wait it out. You only have a little bit longer to wait. Of course, wait for your helps. And now is the dauntless process of clicking all of these quests. You can click on the quest menu and view it like this, and click it this way. And essentially all you're doing is spamming the claim button. I know it's long and drawn out, but it's the only way to get these to claim. And I have like 680 of them to claim. Okay guys, so now we're going to talk about some of the events that you're going to see when you arrive in your first kingdom. Because I've delayed this so long, I've had to create another account in order to show you this, but this is kind of important. So as soon as you land in the kingdom, you'll have this Rise of Kingdom event. It goes on for 5 days, but it's actually like a 6-day event. So you have 6 days to complete it. If you get in the kingdom, and sometimes it happens like a day early, you'll get this event. If it's too close to reset, this event won't start until after reset, so keep that in mind. But essentially, you go through every single cycle, and it has from gaining power to doing research, using speed ups, training troops. If you're doing anything massive like that, you can wait until like the 3rd or 4th day, because it'll mostly unlock everything available. Some of them have forts, killing barbarians. There's just so many different options. Just kind of keep that in mind as you're going through this process. Okay, so as we covered the Rise of Kingdoms event, that chest up here at the right is going to give you these emblems, and the emblems are used for the Hero's Return. You can change them in for the Hero's Return bundles and get like, you can unlock Cleopatra, you can get the whatever civilization sculptures that you picked. So if you picked Japan, you're going to get Kusunogi. If you pick China, you're going to get Sun Tzu. So there's a bunch of different options to pick from here. Then, of course, you're going to get the speed ups and the other resources and stuff like that. And essentially, you can use that and get them for free, essentially. But I would highly recommend to unlock Cleo. She's just good, but these right here, the chests for the sculptures are probably better option, because you can get your commander leveled up a little bit faster on the skill side. The other events we got are like the Who Will Reign Supreme. I believe there's a couple of these that are available in the kingdom in the early days. Essentially, it's gain as much power as possible. And your whales are probably going to hit up this pretty quickly. It does look like this kingdom looks like it was a jumper group, hashtag BB. So they knew about this ahead of time. This kingdom's only a couple hours, 14 hours old. It's not even a full day. And you've already got a 3 million power player. I mean, that's good for an early kingdom because it's like super strong in an early kingdom compared to it being a mid to late game kingdom. Then the other events that you're going to have coming up are the Mighty Governor. Now, I want you guys to remember when it comes to the Mighty Governor, it's going to be based on the cycle of your kingdom, like the age and such. And as you progress into Rise of Kingdoms, the cycles for MGE does change. It will sync with the kingdoms that are on your continent when you go into KVK Season 1. Right before you get the proc for KVK Season 1, they'll send you a kingdom message saying, hey, we're going to sync you up with the rest of the continent. So if you were on like one stage, or they're going to get you all on one cycle period. Like if it starts on Monday this coming week, but yours doesn't start till like Tuesday or Wednesday, it doesn't matter. It's always going to start on that Monday of whatever that, I think it's the oldest kingdom on the continent cycle. It's not going to change cycles. So like if you were going into Charles Martel and you're finishing up your Caesar, it's not going to transition you from one to the other. It's just going to keep you on that one cycle. It's just going to make the change of when it's actually starting. So keep that in mind as you get closer to KVK, that the cycles will change. Sometimes it might be 2 weeks before you see the cycle and you're supposed to get it and you're not. You have to wait 9 to 10 days. I hope that information helps you as you progress on your account. Alright guys, that's going to conclude it for this series of the Jumper Guide. This is the episode 3 of the Jumper Guide, and I appreciate everybody who's watched the whole series. There's so much information that can be put out through jumpers. The best thing I can offer to you guys and gals is to reach out to Discord and find a jumper group. Somebody who's educated and knows what they're talking about to help set you up for success. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to my content for more stuff like this. But that's it for me, guys. So for now, just keep it real.